In the early summer, Sandy and I embarked on a 7-day wilderness backpacking journey. It would take us through miles of snowfields, swollen creeks, and atop the iconic cliffs that form the walls of Yosemite Valley. This hike was based out of Yosemite Valley. It consisted of 2 loops with an interim visit to the valley to resupply and acquire our second permit. For the first loop, we headed northwest out of the valley, hiked around Tenaya Lake, and then returned to the valley at Happy Isle. For the second loop of the hike, we drove to the opposite end of the valley, near the Wawona Tunnel, and hiked atop the 3,000-foot cliffs on the south rim of the valley before returning to the valley floor. The total hike was 77 miles over 7 days. I put in a request for an application and lucky enough got it. But it came back with cautionary notes. Rangers were advising that in a typical year, 60 to 80% of the trail would be under snow. Within days, we started seeing news story after news story.
Tons of snow.
Yosemite National Park, one of those spots that is under a stack of snow. Seeing is believing, though. Look at these insane pictures. This snow, 15 feet deep for Yosemite. No estimated time for the Yosemite Park to open back up.
We started getting more notices from the rangers in Yosemite that, we need to consider whether or not we can do this trip safely.
You just gotta show up and see what happens. When we got to the Wilderness Center to pick up the permit,
and he starts asking us questions.
Are you comfortable with traveling on the snow?
Can you navigate the wilderness without having a trail to follow? Do you have GPS equipment to use for navigation? Are you competent with map and compass? Do you know good practices for crossing swift-moving water?
Visitors are being warned to stay away from bloated and swollen rivers and creeks.
And it's just simply a result of the largest snowpack on record here in the southern Sierra Nevada and Yosemite National Park.
He'd also expressed that we wouldn't probably see a soul out there for several days. The snowpack was going to be something we would be on continuously for 3 to 4 days of the permit, and that almost certainly there would be no tracks to follow. So both of us knew that we were probably heading into an area that was going to go beyond what we had done before. We started walking toward the backpacker campground just to spend our first night before the actual hike starts.
In a big rock slide. Wow.
We haven't started hiking yet, and this is our way to the backpackers campground.
We would have to cross a stream, and I thought to myself, geez, already it's the first night and we're not even in the snow yet, and I'm gonna have to start with wet shoes and socks, and they're just gonna be wet the whole rest of the week. You do what you have to do, and we walked through the water to get to a backpacker camp before even the real start of the hike. The next morning was much better.
It was extraordinarily exciting to start the trip. And Sandy was equally excited as far as I know. And it was a beautiful, beautiful start. Starting up the Snow Creek Trail, which is 3 miles and 3,000 feet elevation gain, and essentially leaving the valley and going right up to the rim.
anyone down there see me doing push-ups? Oh my goodness.
Wow. .208 in the afternoon. Storms are supposed to be going from noon until 7, so we didn't. It started late, which is good, and we got our tent set up just as this rain was starting. And we're in an awesome place. Here's where we're camping. That's the view from our tent. We're in the tent. Rain had just stopped. We hadn't gotten out yet, and we heard this big pop and crash. It sounded like really serious thunder, and it kept rumbling, and it turned out it was a small avalanche. But that's on the base of Half Dome here.
Snow Creek was not a creek at all. It was a big, raging, roaring river.
Nothing remotely resembling something you might call a creek.
What else is there going to be? If we have to cross anything that looks like this, we're probably just going to have to turn around.
Here we go.
Here we go.
It's a mystery to me.
So we're at 7,500 feet and notable increase in the abundance of snow here on the north side of Mount Watkins.
Till you have it all, you won't be free. Society, you're a crazy breed. I hope you're not lonely without me. When you want more than you have, you think you need. When you think more than you want, your thoughts begin to bleed. I think I need to find a bigger place. 'Cause when you have more than you think, you need more space. Society, you're crazy breed. Hope you're not.
The microspikes are going on our shoes. The snow baskets are going on our poles, and that we're going to be on snow now. We're in the snow zone.
I hope you're not lonely without me.
You can't see a trail, so we lose trail. You think, well, where Sandy goes, where she's going, looks like it could be trail. But you turn this way, and that could be trail. There could be a trail over there. So, needless to say, it's a little tricky navigation here.
Well, Ted tends to be pretty confident in his navigation abilities.
And I'm like, I think we need to cross a river here, but we can't cross it here, so let's go this way. Can't find anything there, we'll go the other way. Can't find a crossing there. The next thing you know, it's like, wait a minute, it appears as though the trail's back over here.
It really seemed like we were kind of going in circles.
And we've been going in circles.
But if less is more, how you keep in score means for every point you make your level.
And we're seeing these all around us, realizing we're probably walking on snow bridges quite often, but as long as they're not major rivers under us, we should be okay.
You can't do that, society. You're a crazy breed. I hope you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy indeed.
Sandy doing the Suncup dance.
Without me, society, have mercy on me. I hope you're not.
Postholing was definitely a nerve-wracking subject of our snow travel.
I dropped in with one leg. As deep as my leg would go, the only thing stopping me was that my butt hit the snow crust. My foot was down in this hole, my whole leg, and the foot was still not touching anything below. My other leg is stretched out 90 degrees to the front side of me, and I'm thinking, did I just ruin something? Fortunately, nothing serious, just maybe a little small kind of overstretch of some of the hamstrings. But
One where I dropped in and my foot was very stuck, and I think it was probably the microspikes, and I was very fearful that I would have to pull my foot out without my shoe, and I did not know how I would get the shoe.
so we kind of learned to be very careful around things like boulders, big logs that maybe appear to be beneath us. Of course, there's a lot of stuff you can't see, and there were other occasions where we punched through without knowing it. This is our view where we're gonna camp.
Oh, look over there.
And there. How was it, honey?
A lot of high stakes walking
That was dicey.
all day.
And 10 miles in that is a full day. We
Yeah.
left at 7 this morning. It's almost 7 o'clock right now.
Good morning.
Woohoo! Here's our view out the tent this morning, camping up on a rock. The bathroom's actually open. It's a little hard to get to, but a skinny person could get in. This would be the route we would be taking, but evidently Tenaya Creek coming out of Tenaya Lake is really torrent right now. The ranger advised us we're gonna have to cross Tenaya Creek on the upstream end of the lake, 4 to 6 mile workaround. It's a road walk technically, but there's actually a sidewalk. And on this section, the sun has cleared it. As we were walking up lake, looking across at the down lake side we were going to have to walk, it became very evident that that was a steep snow slope. And what we saw was evidence of, I would suspect, recent avalanches.
An area where the snow had slid down the slope and pushed trees over and onto the lake is a little disconcerting.
Neither of us are mountaineers. We're not alpinists. for a seasoned person wouldn't be dangerous. We're probably in more danger because of our lack of experience in this. Where the sidewalk ends. Lots of Suncups here. We're trying to get across Tenaya Creek. We're at the upstream end of the lake. Pretty challenging. It looks small, but we're going up and down the creek. It's probably 4, maybe 5 feet deep, and it's very swift, and that would be maybe chest deep. Definitely drift downstream in the process. Have to figure out how to get the backpacks across. We're going to continue upstream, see what we can find. Yay?
Yay, huh?
Is that dancing or helping you limber up?
I'm limbering up, honey.
All right. These tree wells are amazing. 2 to 2.5 meters deep. They're just crazy. Tiptoeing around these all day long.
Deep tree well.
We were thinking this is an avalanche zone. These trees are popping up as the snow is melting. The slope was so much steeper than we anticipated, so much steeper than it looked from the other side of the lake. We thought, well, we need to learn how to use ice axes. Good thing we watched YouTube.
Ted was cutting in steps in front.
Plant the ice axe, kick in the left foot, kick in the right foot. Move the ice axe, left foot, right foot. 3 to 5 seconds per move, and we had 2 miles to go.
We were going very slowly, and I was just trying to keep my head.
High anxiety, I would say. I was worried that Sandy might have more anxiety than she actually did. She was as cool as a cucumber.
Developed a little bit of a mantra after one of our cats.
Lila, she was extraordinarily confident, athletic, and a great sense of humor.
Calm and confident, graceful and easy. And if I could remain calm and confident and graceful and easy with each step and just pay attention to this very small area where I was without looking too far ahead or too far down, I would be okay.
One other concern, those avalanches there are things that could break loose. So here we are in the warming part of the afternoon when a snow slab could break loose, so we kept moving.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was so hard.
That was so hard. I don't know. That was about noon we started that. We got across the water and it's 3:45. What a traverse. Holy shit. And it's finally leveling off. It was a dangerous situation, and it didn't feel right getting the camera out. We don't really have good pictures of that. It was a major part of this trip.
I've been saved by no one again and again. But we all just give up.
We had always kept the option open. If it gets too dangerous, we'll turn back. Looking off at a gorgeous cascade coming down the mountain. Some of it beneath the snow, and it would pop out over rocks and sunset on it. And I thought, we have to cross that river. And there's one more on the map that's marked. And there are countless rivers that are not marked. I thought if we get to one of those and it's dangerous to cross, we then have to decide, is it more dangerous to move forward, or is it more dangerous to say, let's go back, because we knew that was going to be dangerous too. Nothing like wet feet first thing in the morning to wake you up.
Yeah, well, you gotta watch the right. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a little snow bridge, not high stakes, but we certainly don't want to break through it. Suncup heaven.
We came to a very sort of wide, steep, tall snowfield, just kept getting steeper.
From a distance, that didn't look steep. When we got there, it was extraordinarily steep. We were just going up this slope here and realizing it's time for ice axes again. So we crossed over to a tree well that we're standing in, safe and secure for the moment.
Always sort of rehearsing how are you going to correct this whole thing if something goes haywire.
We worked as a team, both trying to scout out routes.
You know, we both look at these slopes and the configurations of where tree wells or rocks or whatever are located with a slightly different eyes.
Yeah, I think our ticket is to get right below those rocks up there.
Okay.
And we'll have to do a couple traverses to get there, but we're doing it. The ascent was life at its highest pitch of bodily and mental tension. Life more abundant, more inestimably precious because of the ever-present danger. And we made our way up that 2-mile stretch, and I think it was just shy of 4 hours. Almost to the top. When we sensed it was starting to level off, we stopped in a tree well for breakfast. But after the danger, there's the summit, the rest and letting go, the complete and total receptiveness. We sat there with muscles relaxed and a mind open to the sunlight and to the clouds, open to distance and the horizon, open to the wordless and thoughtless experience.
Good morning.
Good morning. Here's what it looked like out the Sandy's window. Without microspikes, it changed in a matter of a quarter mile.
Wow. This is special. Very special.
How was it?
Cold.
3 to 4 days, 3.5 to 4 days, we hadn't seen a single person. So we had to get down to the valley, get to the permit office before they closed. And our route in was going to be the Mist Trail. Everybody's there. It's a day hike from the valley to go up past those 2 waterfalls.
People are all taking their selfies. Some people looking very nervous.
Excited, terrified, exhausted. Others trying to go fast in a million different languages. The Mist Trail is called that because it goes through the mist of these waterfalls. And we joked that that was not mist, that was a heavy downpour in a hurricane.
A strange feeling in your chest when you come to all these people.
It was a different experience. It didn't feel like a wilderness experience, but it had its own sort of excitement to it. Made it through there and made it into the valley and got our permit before the permit office closed.
We have to go all the way to the other side of the valley to begin at this other trailhead.
It was an absolute traffic jam. It was gridlock. What normally would have probably taken us 20 minutes to drive might have been an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe.
We arrive in another crazy crowd of all the people trying to take pictures of the sunset.
The Wawona Tunnel parking area is one of the most iconic places for a sunset on Yosemite Valley.
And then we gotta shove all our stuff in our packs and get back on the trail.
Thank goodness for both of us because we were both at our wits' end. We walked out of that parking lot, one step onto the trail, and we didn't see a single other person. The crowd chatter from the parking lot below faded away, and we set up our tent and went to bed, and it was the best feeling in the world to be out of the chaos again. Take a whiff of that tree trunk. What's it smell like?
Butterscotch. Wow. This is something. This is definitely something.
Wow, is that pretty? Moving over the river. How strange that standing on the edge of a cliff should at the same time be the most powerful feeling of death and the most powerful feeling of the fullest, intensest life. We camped right on this.
I found a mantra that helps me when I feel very nervous. It's nice to feel like you have something that you found inside yourself that is self-soothing when you feel like you can't control the environment, but you can just control how you're feeling. You can move forward. I kind of got that from one of our pets who passed away in November. And so our cat Lila helped me on that trip, and she let me know that that's inside of myself.
I don't think any two people have identical interests. You can have common interests, but you have different desires at different points. Sandy always comes a long way to try to match my interests, and I don't always do as good a job at accommodating her wishes. Maybe I got a little better at talking to her and asking her what she's okay with. How are you? I think I learned also that going into dangerous places doesn't always have to be as scary as it can be. And the difference between being afraid and being comfortable is knowing what the risks are and how to manage them. And so I really feel that we've been in less dangerous situations, but with less knowledge, and I feel like we were probably more vulnerable then on other trips than we were here. And that's enormous. It feels good. It feels like there's more world to explore. It's not about seeking danger. It's about seeking beauty, and I would say some of the most gorgeous places we were on this trip were in the most high stakes places, but we were able to enjoy them with a nice high five at the end. We were once again in Yosemite Valley and quickly made our way to Dunnigan's Deli to celebrate a wonderful trip. This was a tour of both interior and exterior landscapes. The precipitous snow slopes, the torrents of water, and the towering cliffs demanded that we abandon our conscious observing selves and join them in an intimate and primal dialogue of feeling the terrain and being felt, of being truly joined to the landscape. I don't know how it is that a piece of landscape enters the blood, but I know it happens. And when it does, it is a gift. It comes as grace to the unsuspecting heart after the brain lets go and the pilgrim ceases seeking and sleeps upon the land. But it is gone too quick. It is a seductive flirtation that leaves you looking for more, leaves you wondering what just happened. It is difficult to explain to others unless they have been there themselves. I don't know how it is that a piece of landscape enters the blood, but I know it happens.